We are proud to be here tonight to honor Jean McLean Robinson, a lady who encourages people of all ages and who always understands.
Boys and Girls Country is a community of people, first and foremost. And secondly, it's a place. It's a location that was donated to us by Jean and Tommy Robinson, a place where for the past 40 years, children have been raised, nurtured, loved, and taught the Christian faith.
I think Tommy and Jean were pioneering in how they set up Boys and Girls Country. You don't see other homes like this run where you have actual parents living with the kids in family units. These are family discipline models. They go to church together, they go to school together, they go on vacations together. Imagine having 8 to 10 kids in your house and then running across the whole campus of 100 to 120 kids. And that's a calling for sure.
Jean put her heart and soul into this project, and we all know what a success it is today.
Tommy and Jean were successful in starting Boys and Girls Country for a lot of reasons. I think their shared love of children and the passion to give back was really what it was about. But I think Tommy was a bull. He didn't take no for an answer. And Jean is almost identical to Tommy. We're very fortunate to have him at Boys and Girls Country.
They believe that a wholesome environment with loving and care would help children realize their full potential. And they were committed to making Boys and Girls Country take place.
Everybody who's lost a parent or lost their home feels like it only happens to them. It's never happened to anyone else. When they come here and see other children like them, it's a huge weight off of their shoulders, and they very quickly begin to do better, begin to grow, begin to feel confident, begin to increase their self-esteem. What they learn when they come here is this is a very protected environment. It's a very enriching environment. Our entire program and our interaction style is based on praise and reinforcement and making them feel good about themselves and providing an environment where we know that children grow best. It's coming home every day and knowing somebody's going to be there to meet you, knowing that every day at 5:30 dinner's going to be on the table, knowing every evening that somebody's going to help you with your homework, knowing that there's a consistent bedtime that everybody's going to be held accountable to, and knowing the entire routine for tomorrow when you go to bed at night. It's that kind of security, it's that kind of structure that creates an environment for them to do the very best they can do.
One of the neatest attributes to Boys and Girls Country is these kids are here due to no fault of their own. These are good kids. And if they're given a chance now, they have a chance to become productive adults. But I also like the fact that it's a Christian home. But the fact that it's privately funded is also huge. It allows us to help manage these kids' lives the way that these parents and the way that this board of directors feels like it should. Well, Tommy and Jean started Boys and Girls Country 40 years ago. We're looking to our donors to help us continue their mission.
This entire campus, the 40-year history, all the buildings, all the successes, everything that we had over the past 40 years started with a single $25 donation. 40 years ago, when Tommy and Jean planted those trees that were about 6 inches tall, there was no way they were going to get any benefit from them during that time. They planted those trees knowing that 40 years later, we would be here to get the benefit from those. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they fully intended us to be here 40 years later.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for giving me a home.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for a home.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson, for giving me my home.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for giving me my home.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for giving me my home.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for our home.
Thank you, Mrs. Robinson, for giving me my home.